Welcome back, guys. We're picking right back up where we left off, and with this huge mess that I got going on here. Still Memorial Day weekend, so I haven't been able to get the stuff to the powder coating guy. So off camera, I was able to go ahead and get this stuff cleaned out. I pressed out these bushings. I was able to press these bushings out with just like a bar clamp and then a couple of sockets. So that was pretty simple. So those are these guys right here. Okay. So that's what basically this kit replaces, is this big bushing, okay, that grabs the actual power steering. I think it goes like over here or something like that. Okay, and then these two bushings. And then you got some spacers and stuff like that. You reuse the brackets and all that stuff. I went ahead and cleaned up the stock bar, the sway bar, and the bushings for that and all that. I'm reusing all the stuff. So I also took apart the ACD pump with the brackets, and I'm really glad that I did, because look at this stuff. It looks all kinds of busted. I'm not really sure why this stuff gets rusty. I guess it's just so shitty powder coating from Mitsubishi. Unless maybe this car is set in front of a sprinkler for a long time. So definitely want to get all this stuff powder coated. This is like the little thing that goes on the crossbar north front bar that grabs the under tray. So, and then you guys have seen this stuff already. So, and here's the ACD pump, which again, it has a little bit of corrosion. I don't know if there's anything that I can do about that. I'm definitely not gonna take this apart. So I think it is what it is. I may sand it down and throw a little bit of paint on there, but we'll see. You guys have seen the control arms. All right, so what's next on the agenda? So I gotta get the rear brakes off, the calipers off, so I can give them to the powder coater. And then I can also get this stuff off, swap the studs, which, by the way, this car has like aftermarket studs. I'm not really sure why. It has it on both sides. The rears are not, but the front ones are. But anyways, I'm gonna replace these, and then I can do the Evo X front brake conversion. All right, so taking that stuff out is pretty easy. All right, and then you guys saw I put the new rotor in there on the back. Obviously I can't finish here because I don't have the caliper, but this is looking nice. Much nicer than the old, super rusty stock one. All right, so next step is I have to put the studs, the new ARP studs, and then I also have to do the Evo 10 front brake conversion. So to do the conversion, really, it's almost bolt on. All you gotta do is you gotta drill this hole out to a 14 millimeter, okay? Because if you look at here, so this is a stock Evo 10 caliper bolt, okay? And then this is the stock Evo 8, Evo 9. So you can see it, this is much bigger. So I'm not gonna do like a whole how-to, but real quick, you're gonna need a 14 millimeter drill bit. I got like a reduced shank so it would fit into a regular drill. All right, and then always use some cutting fluid. I love this Tap Magic, okay? I bought 2 of these just in case. So we'll see, but really, if you take your time and you take it easy, you should be able to do it with 1. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove the heat shield. I may modify these heat shields and keep it like down here. I want to keep it down here to protect the ball joint here. That's what that's called, the ball joint. I want to protect that ball joint, and you don't have to, but these act as a little bit of a shim. So if you completely eliminate this, then I think one side of the pad is a little bit tight to get in. So let's do the drilling, and then we'll go ahead and do the studs. Okay. First off, let's remove this heat shield. This one is going to be a little bit harder because since I don't have the lower control arm attached or the axle or anything like that, this has a lot of movement. So if I can do it with all this loose, you could definitely do it with it attached. It'll be much more stable. That's out of the way. So what I like to do when I'm going to drill these holes is I'm going to bathe this hole in the Tap Magic and also my drill bit. Okay, and I'm just going to go nice and easy to start. Letting the drill do the work. Barely any pressure. Low speed. Oh, almost forgot. Very important. Safety protection. I mean, eye protection. You definitely don't want one of those metal chips to fly into your eye. So you could already see that the hole is kind of centering in itself. It's not perfect, okay? And it doesn't really have to be perfect. It just has to be mostly centered. You don't want to go like this or like this, so keep that in mind. Okay, some more fluid. Generous with the fluid. Fluid is cheap. Right. So not the smoothest thing in the world, but there we go. So now we just got to repeat the process at the bottom. So again, if you look, as you can tell on camera, it's not perfect, you know. It's not gonna be like a machine did it, right? But all you really need is for this to just go in. And if you guys saw, I kind of wobbled it a little bit, and then that way it gives it just a little bit of extra clearance, just so that, you know, it's not dead nuts. Okay, let's go. All right, that's pretty simple. All that dust that came up, you definitely don't want to breathe that stuff in. A bunch of rust, so it's like breathing in a bunch of metal. You definitely don't want to do that. Okay, so now that we got that part done, we're gonna go ahead. Sorry, I gotta reach over here. We're gonna grab our studs. I use the same little tap magic, just put a little bit. Okay, you don't have to soak it. Roll around. Snake your stud in. Okay, let's go in here. And snug it first, and you want to make sure that this is not crooked. Okay, just get an eyeball to it. That looks pretty straight. And then what I like to do is, with a wrench, before I use the Big Daddy, is I'll seat it in. Okay. Get a couple turns, and I already see that it's going in. So once that's done, be mindful your ears is going to be loud. That's it. Just make sure that when you're cranking on this, that you stop once you feel it bottom out. Okay. So now we just repeat the process on all four. Well, this sucks. So I feel like a dumbass. So this bearing is fucked up. I should have checked this before I put all these freaking studs in. So it sucks because I gotta replace the bearing, but it also sucks because I just pressed these studs in, and I feel like once you press these in, they start to get a little gummed up. So I guess I'm gonna have to get new studs and a new freaking front wheel bearing. Evo life. So I wanted to show you guys the difference as to why I'm going to the Evo 10 setup. So this is the Evo 10 caliper, the Evo 9 caliper, and when you look at them like this, ignore that this sticker is much bigger, okay? And this is a sticker. I'm not happy about that. We'll get to that in a second. But besides that sticker being bigger and these holes being larger, there doesn't really seem to be that big of a difference. They even take the same pad. So, you know, if the caliper is basically the same, then why bother? The reason is the rotor. So this is an Evo 8, Evo 9 rotor, and this is the Evo 10 rotor. So this is 13 3/4, okay, and then this is 12 and like 9/16. So this is a bit over an inch bigger than the Evo 9 setup. The thickness is the same. Obviously, if the calipers are almost the same, you know, then this is the thickness is the same. So really, what you're gaining is about an inch of disc size, okay. And it seems to me, looking at this, that the pistons look to be very, very similar. So I talked to several people that swear by this. They said that the pedal feels much better than this. I mean, it's not gonna be no AP racing for sure. Okay, I could do an AP racing setup on this, but honestly, again, I'm kind of saying a budget, but and also I really don't plan on heavily tracking this car like this one. This is my main track B. This is gonna be if I take it to the track every now and then. So I wanted to do an OEM plus kind of setup. guys, so unfortunately my GoPro decided to take a dump right after that video pushing that one bushing out, so I couldn't get the rest of the stuff. So obviously here's all the bushings pressed in. You guys saw me doing one of these. These are pretty simple to put in and out. Now with these, the reason why, if you look closely, these are offset. So this hole is offset from the center, okay? And basically what that does is that it once you put the bolt there, it moves this arm this way, okay? So what this does, it moves the bottom of the shock forward, okay? And that's caster, basically. Caster is this alignment, okay, forward and back on the suspension, So these cars, and most cars in general, like a lot of front caster, a lot of positive caster. So that helps a lot with steering, okay? So that's the main purpose of that. And these are also like spherical bushing. So and these are just basically, these are just poly. This is the front bushing. And this, what they call the roll center kit, this comes with the tie rod, okay? So what that does is, what happens is, when you lower the car, basically this arm from the factory is at a downward angle, kind of like this, okay? And when you lower the car, what happens is it forces this arm to be up like this. And then sometimes you end up even with the arm above horizontal. And what that does, it actually allows the car to roll more, okay? So this is a taller tie rod and whatever this thing is called, okay? And then therefore it allows this to move down, okay, from the knuckle, all right? So that's the main purpose of doing this, okay, and then the caster bushing. So it's all basically for better handling, okay? Because these cars are basically front wheel drive with rear assist. I don't care what anybody says, even though this is all wheel drive, yes, the rears are always powered, but 60% of the weight is in front of the front axle. So this is mostly front wheel drive. So you want to do as much as you can in the front. The rear also matters, and we'll get to the rear at a later time. But anyways, I just wanted to give you guys a quick rundown of why, why would I go to the trouble of doing all of this. So now I'm just waiting on brakes, on all the subframe and all the brackets and all that stuff to come back from the powder coater, and obviously the tranny and T-case. So I'm almost at a standstill. So I think what I'm gonna do, guys, is I'm going to go ahead and pressure wash these things. And I also want to degrease down here. Let me show you guys. This stuff down here is pretty cruddy. I'm assuming that from leaks, from failures, who knows. So there's all kinds of wet stuff down here. And obviously this is not something that has to happen. Okay, this is just cosmetic, but it just bothers me because every time that I look under the car, I'm working on the car, I see something wet and I'm immediately thinking, okay, what's leaking, So I want to try to clean some of this stuff off, and I know it's not going to look like new, but if I can get rid of half of this crud, that would make me a lot happier. I gotta wrap this up real quick because in typical Florida fashion, the weather turned on me in a few minutes. But I'm really happy with the way this came out. It's still wet, but we can see that this is a lot cleaner. Now, some of this stuff, I think this is like the undercoating. I don't know if it's a factory undercoating or was it applied after, because some of it was kind of sloppy. It even got like up here, like in the control arm and stuff like that. But anyways, yeah, I'm very happy with the way this whole came out. I'm really glad that you know, I was able to get a lot of this crud off. You know, now I'm not gonna be doubting it. Now if I see something leaking, you know, it's gonna be pretty obvious. So again, in all that black stuff, some of it came off, but the rest of it that's there, it's pretty thick and sticky. So it feels like an undercoating, doesn't feel like grease or anything like that. And I was able to clean these up. These came out really, really good. And they look almost done. I mean, not quite, but they look really, really good. Much better than they were. One of them, when I pulled out, it was like black. So anyways, as this is taking a while, more and more boxes keep showing up. This is a new box. This is a new box. This is a box from New Zealand. So that's a little bit of a riddle for you guys. What did I do on the gray car that was a pretty special part that came from New Zealand that goes along with something that's in that box that's made in Japan? So let me know in the comments if you guys can guess what it is. All right, but hopefully on the next episode we get the brakes back, so we can get the powder coated brakes back. We can start getting some of the stuff, some of the powder coating stuff, you know, like the subframe and all those kind of things. I still haven't heard too much about the tranny, so I think the tranny, the T-case is still a bit out, but there's many more projects, guys. We got a ton of stuff going on with the Evo while we wait for that stuff. All right, so stick around, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.